Welcome to Always On, coming to you from Art Center College of Design, more specifically our Colors, Materials, and Trends Exploration Lab. My name is Heidrun Mumper-Drumm, and I'm going to be walking you through an introduction to comprehensive design today. Comprehensive design, as we've been teaching it here at Art Center, is a framework for design which has the potential to incorporate sustainability into the design process by including life cycle data and life cycle assessment into the methodology. Simply put, it means taking the standard equation for design that we all know, the equation where design equals form plus function, to adding an additional element represented by S here, means adding sustainability into the equation, making it a priority of design, and thereby making it possible for design to address sustainability within this expanded framework. Let's begin by doing an exercise. And to do this, I'd like you to get a few tools. You need to get a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, something to draw with. Get your favorite drawing implement. You'll need a peanut in its shell, and something to put the peanut into, either a bag or a brown paper bag, but something that will completely hide the peanut. And if you have it available, an X-Acto knife or something that we can use to cut with. I need you to take the piece of paper and fold it into 4 quadrants simply by folding it in half once and in half again, so that you have 4 sections divided. You should have your materials in front of you, and the first thing I would like you to do is to take the peanut that is in some kind of container that keeps it hidden from you. So bring that forward, take your sheet of paper, and in the first quadrant, I would like you to draw the peanut that you imagine. Moving on now to the second quadrant on your page, I want you to take the bag or envelope containing your peanut, and you can open it up, but don't remove the peanut. Keep it inside the bag, hidden from you. Reach inside and with your fingers, feel the peanut. You now have an additional bit of information. You could also smell it. Mine isn't nicely roasted, so I don't smell much, but feel it and smell it, and in the second rectangle, draw it again. You now have some additional information. See if your drawing changes. Is it different from the peanut that you imagine? How is it different? Now moving on to the third rectangle, I'd like you to take the bag, and I want you to open it and remove the peanut. So now you can see the peanut. You have some additional data added to the imaginary data, or the data of your imagination, the data of your sense of touch, the data of your sense of smell. You now have some visual data. Please use that in drawing the peanut for the third time. Now we're down to the fourth quadrant. We've hopefully drawn a fairly accurate representation of the peanut. I'd like you to employ your imagination again, and in the fourth quadrant, I would like you to draw a caricature of your peanut. That means you're to exaggerate it in some way. Maybe you're going to give it some additional characteristics or remove some characteristics. You're going to make it bigger, smaller, wider, thinner, add some attributes that maybe it didn't have, exaggerate some attributes, and draw that in the fourth quadrant. Now that we've gone through a fairly thorough visual inspection of the peanut and documented it in your drawings, I want you to turn the page over, and on the back of the sheet at the top, in the fifth quadrant, I would like you to write out the life story of your peanut. You're going to use text. You're going to use narrative. So write out once upon a time in the life of your peanut. What kind of personality does your peanut have? What kind of life did your peanut lead or is leading now? What is the peanut's sex? How old is the peanut? Where does the peanut come from? Think of the story, the narrative, and write it in the fifth rectangle. Now in the sixth rectangle, adjacent to your narrative, adjacent to your story, I would like you to write down the name of your peanut. I'd also like to introduce you to some of the other peanuts that have been imagined in this series of exercises.
Robert Peanut was born in a farm in Southern California. He always imagined what life looked like after he came out of the soil. His mother, the peanut tree, tells him how warm the sunshine is and how beautiful the butterflies travel. This day has finally came. The farmer digs him out of the ground and put him to the harvesting cart, along with thousands of other peanuts. But the cart soon gets too full and he fell off the ground. Luckily, there were a group of ants catched him. "Oh, thanks, guys. But where are you guys taking me?" And to be continued.
Peanut Bill is your rough and tough peanut. He grew up in a small town in Mississippi. Peanut Bill comes from a long line of farmers and mechanics. Seeking a better life for himself, Peanut Bill decides to move to the city to establish his own mechanic shop. Oh, did I mention that Peanut Bill rides a Harley and is an active member of the Devil's Peanut biker gang?
This is Patricia, and at the prime of her life, she was having fun, fixing nitrogen with all her friends all day long, but all of a sudden was uprooted from her home. She was dislimbed, and then tortured, and then dehydrated. But one day, she was back with all of her sisters, getting to see the country. It was a great time. One of her friends told her that they were going to go to a great place and make someone very happy. But then all of a sudden, she had to be shown off to all these people who would walk by every day. And then finally, she was picked up by someone. This person fondled her over and over again. And finally, she was put out of her misery. She was eaten.
Now we're in quadrant number 7, and we want to continue our investigation of the peanut. And hopefully you have access to some kind of cutting instrument, otherwise you're going to have to use your fingers. But we are going to dissect the peanut and draw its component parts. So take your peanut and dissect it. So the point here is we want to understand what all the various parts, material parts of the peanut are. So you can slice through the shell. And try to disassemble it into as many different component parts as you can. It helps to have a knife, a little easier to break apart. And once you've done that, in the 7th rectangle, draw the various parts of the peanut and label them if you can. Now that we've done a fairly thorough analysis and study of the peanut, We've investigated it, we've looked at it, we've drawn it, we've inspected it, we've dissected it. We've even gotten emotionally attached. We've given it a name and created a story around the peanut. If I were to ask you, given what you know now, can you design something using a peanut or one of its component parts? So that's my first question. My second question is, can you design for sustainability knowing what you know now? Now, the answer to the first question is yes. You can probably figure out something that can be done with all of the peanut or parts of the peanut, given what you know now. You know that it has certain physical properties, and you can probably conceive of something that makes use of those physical properties. So yes, you can. My second question to you is, can you design for sustainability knowing what you know now? Now that you've handled the peanut and actually broken it down into its component bits, can you design for sustainability? And clearly, the answer is no. We don't have enough information. We don't know what went into making this peanut, this material. We don't know anything about the manufacturing process if we were to do something with these bits. We may know something about how it's going to be used because we may have access to some user data. We probably don't know how it will be disposed of. We simply don't have the context within which this peanut system lives. And therefore, we can't by intent design for sustainability without that information. Again, if it is a sustainable system, it is sustainable by chance. But we within the design profession, we want to design for sustainability by intent. Now, how do we go about doing that? Now we're to our last rectangle in the sheet. And what I'd like to do with this final part of the exercise is to ask you, what if we did want to design for sustainability? What if we did want to intentionally include sustainability as a priority of the design? What if we wanted to eliminate or reduce toxins from the system? What if we wanted to create a zero waste system? What if we wanted to bring value to all the components of the peanut, that none of this would be wasted, but there would be some utility for each and every part of the peanut? What if we wanted to restore habitat with our enterprise or build community? And certainly, what if we wanted to minimize energy use? How could we do that? How could we create a system that is sustainable and has these characteristics? Well, the first thing we have to know is know more than we do. And we can do this by incorporating life cycle analysis into our design methodology. I'd like you to try it out. I'd like you to experience what it is like to consider the life cycle context of a material. So in this 8th rectangle, I propose to you that you will use this peanut to make peanut butter. And I'd like you to diagram what the life cycle of peanut butter looks like. I hope you've enjoyed this brief exercise and that you're beginning to see the tremendous potential of design to address sustainability. And the way design is poised to do this is by integrating sustainability and sustainability-related data into the overall design process. So to achieve this comprehensive design process, which includes the complete context of the product or system, we can use life cycle analysis. We can use data associated with the life cycle of the materials to give us that broader context so that by intent, sustainability can be designed into the system. Thank you so much.